Welcome everyone. Ever wonder where those sudden flashes of inspiration come from? What if I told you that every new idea, whether it's scientific breakthrough or a creative masterpiece, comes from fascinating dance happening inside your brain? So today we are diving deep into the neuroscience behind creativity, and by the end of this video, you will not only understand how it works, but also how to boost your own creative power. So let's get started. So what is creativity? It's not just about the painting or writing music. Creativity is about the coming up with the idea or solution that are both original and useful. Whether it's scientific breakthrough or a clever comeback, it's that spark of inspiration that moves the world forward. For the long time, the people thought creativity was all about the right side of the brain. The classic left brain logic, right brain creative idea. But it is so much more complex than that. Recently, research shows that the creativity involves various regions across both sides of our brain, working together in fascinating interplay. So let me break it down for you. There are two main brain networks that play a major role in creativity: the default mode network and the executive network. The default mode network is like your brain daydream mode. It's a light up when you are letting your mind wander, helping you generate those wild and out of the box ideas. On the other hand, the executive network, that is your brain taskmaster. It comes online when you need to focus, helping to evaluate and refine the idea your default mode network throughout. So creativity is not just about having the random crazy idea, it's also about figuring out which ones are worth pursuing. So here is the cool thing. During the creative process, these two networks interact continuously. At the first, default mode network kicks into the higher gear, letting your thoughts flow freely. Then as you start narrowing things down, the executive network steps into a access, which is actually feasible. It's like a brainstorming party with responsible friends keeping things in the back. And the most creative people, guess whom? They are the ones whose brain are really good at getting those two networks to work together in harmony. But there is more. Creativity also involves a specific part of the brain called anterior superior temporal gyrus. This region lights up during those famous Eureka moments. So the scientists have found that just 300 milliseconds before someone has an insight, there is a burst of creative this area. It's like the light bulb moment in your brain turning on just before you even realizing it. Now let's talk about the memory. You might wonder, how does memory fit into all of this? Well, the same part of your brain that help you remember the past are also crucial for imagining new things. Think of your brain as a metal blender, taking bits and pieces of your experience and knowledge, mixing them together to create something beautifully entirely new. There is an interesting study that shows this in action. People were asked to vividly recall a recent memory, a technique called episodic specificity induction. And after doing this, their creative ideas become more varied and original. So tapping into our past experiences can eventually fuel our. But creativity is not just about the idea generation. It's also about evaluating those ideas. And that's where the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex comes in play the role. It's like the critics in your own brain, helping you figure out which ideas are gold and which need to work more. In highly creative people, there is an increased communication between all these different brain regions. It's like a lively conversation with a spontaneous idea bouncing off critical evaluation, all working together to create something truly beautiful, original ideas. So now question is, can we improve our creativity? The answer is yes. Activities that boost dopamine, like exercise or listening to your favorite music, can help get those creative juice flowing. And the mindfulness and meditations are also powerful tools. They can actually strengthen the connection between your default mode network and executive network, and teaching your brain to work together for more effectively. Our brain are incredibly adaptable thanks to those neuroplasticity. Just like the exercise of muscles, engaging in creative activity can change the structure of our brain over the time and making it easier to come up with the new and fresh ideas. But let's be real, like coming up with a truly original idea is not always easy. Our brain is like stick with what we already know. So creativity often requires a lot of mental effort. It's about the pushing past the obvious and familiar, stepping into uncharted territory. Without memory and knowledge, we would be starting with a scratch with every time we try to create something. But without the ability to direct our thoughts, we would just keep rehearsing the same idea over and over. And true creativity comes from the balancing these two forces, using what we know to leap into the unknown. And here is the best part. Creativity is not some mythical gift given to some lucky people. It's a fundamental part of how our brain works, something we can all develop and nurture. So understanding how our creative brain function can help us consciously practice and improve our creativity. Spend some time brainstorming without judgment. Just let your mind wander freely, and then switch gear to evaluate and refine those ideas into something valuable. And remember, some of the best ideas come when we are not trying too hard. That's why so many people having an aha moment in the shower or just before sleep. So when our executive network loosens its grip and let the default mode network take the lead. But creativity is not just about the idea, it's also about having the courage to pursue them. That's where the executive network helps, again evaluating risk and pushing us through challenges. So building your creativity is also about building confidence and resilience. So to wrap this thing up, creativity is not just for the chosen few. It's a dynamic, fundamental part of all our brain, and it's something we can strengthen and develop. By understanding how our brain come up with its new idea, we can unlock our own creative potential and make amazing things happen. So thank you for the watching, and see you in the next video.